Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. We are live on Twitch. After several attempts at starting this, we are finally able to get this working. Once again, I'm on my laptop, so I apologize for any frame rate issues that we might have. I probably should turn down some graphic settings. You may pause the game to do that. But a moose bit your sister? Was she like an Upper Peninsula or something like that? Or I mean, mooses are like freaking huge. So yeah, it would be. Gator saying the game's too loud. Okay, hold on. I'll bump that down to, let's see. How's that, guys? Is that better? Oh, no, it's a Monty Python reference. Okay. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it over this mountain pass. This is not going to be a good trip for this truck. Because, once again, we don't have the diff locks or the good tires. We're only on level 3. So, should we turn back now? I mean, we've gone like 4 inches and we're already stuck. This is the one problem with this truck. We're not going to be able to get parts from the depot because we are just freaking stuck in the mud. It ain't going to go. Until we get the better tires, this truck is kind of useless, unfortunately. This is why I usually sell this truck pretty early in game and then I buy it back later. Because right now, it's just... Yeah, I know. I've done that too, Aiken Kibbles. I couldn't tell you how to get my some of my stuff off the Xbox because my accounts are all intermingled like that. So let's see here. So we're going to do roadblock. And we're supposed to be tracking this, but let's see. Can we pick up? Okay, we have a set of parts here. So if we take our, let's see. How can I do this? We could take this truck back down the main road here and go that way. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Once again, we're playing in hardcore, so things are going to be a little bit more difficult. So that's cool, Gator. Yeah, for 6 months to a year. Yeah, well, it's good to plan ahead a bit, though, you know? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I do eventually want to recover this trailer. So I think we're going to pull this down to the main road with us. N2 mail. I don't remember N2 mail, but I remember AOL dial-up and also Prodigy. Yeah, I had Prodigy dial-up. Ooh. First dial-up systems. That's cool, Gator. Well, the nice thing about you, Gator, is that you're willing to work and try. I think this truck is not going to work with this trailer. I need to get closer. Let's see. Oh, no, it'll work. All right, let's do it. That's so funny, Aiken Kibbles. Well, hopefully you'll be able to get it. AOL 3 CDs. Yeah, CDs. I'm talking, I was doing AOL back when it was on floppies. And Prodigy. I'm trying to remember the last one that I had. The last DSL I had, or dial-up. It was like, I think maybe it was Juno. I don't know. Floppies did make good or didn't make good. Arts and crafts decorator. The problem with floppies is they went bad after a couple of years, you know, so. You got a vital? Vitali. Good, guys. I'm glad we finally got everything sorted out sound-wise. It's always a balancing act, and, you know, whenever you go to a new system or a system you haven't used in a while, things have to be like reset and changed around. So thank you for your help and patience tonight as we kind of went through that. So what's up, Mr. Enigma? All right, so we're going to grab some gas. There we go. And that's fine, Gator. We'll be here. I can't wait to get to level... I think at level 4 we start to unlock some of the better tires for these trucks. And that will definitely make our lives better, for sure. The 5 1/4, yeah. We want to go towards town. Which way? To the right. Okay. Come on, Truckee. You need a new motherboard? You know, it's kind of cool. Speaking of motherboards, and I know this is kind of off the wall, but my my wife, you know, that guy, we think the neighbor set her house on fire, or set her fence on fire. But there's an old computer that she was going to throw away that was out there, and it got in the fire and got burnt. And what was neat was the motherboard actually, like almost like a book, it separated. And it has, you got it, babe? It's the motherboard actually, like, oh, so close. It was not. It was a gold. It was not a diamond. Anyway, so the motherboard like separated like pages. It's really cool. So you can see the different motherboards are built in layers. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but. When you look at the top of a motherboard and you see all the traces of metal that run through it, that's one level. The motherboards are usually like 5 or 6 levels deep. So it's basically like if you could imagine paper with metal in it, like metal traces, connected to a paper below that and welded so that they connect to each other, and then done about 6 or 7 times. So you actually have layers of motherboard. But it was neat to actually see it have come apart into like 6 layers. And you can actually see the separate pieces. You could actually peel it away and see the different metal traces that go through the computer. It was just really cool. Because, you know, the way that, you know, data communicates, it actually, you know, physically, well, it's electric, but it, like electric impulses travel around the motherboard on these channels, and it's pretty neat, so. Is that, what does FRU mean, Nan? I'm sorry, I don't understand what that means. What? Is that FRU on the friend request you? That, okay, that is our gaming page is what you've joined there. Change truck. I don't really friend a lot of people because, as you can imagine, being on YouTube, I have a million people asking for like direct friend requests, and I just don't do that because I've got so many people already that are actual friends. I think I have over like 500 people on Facebook, so I don't friend people that are like from the gaming community just because there's too many people. I can't keep track of all of it. So that's what everybody says. Big fat old man. Good job, Gator. Yeah, 1.44 megabytes per disk. Yes, well, no, those I'm saying those are my actual friends, man, like people that I know. So friend circles, husbands, wives, you know, brothers, sisters, cousins, people that are in my circle, like from my church and stuff, like just people that I'm friends with in real life. People that I work with, realtors that I work with, stuff like that. I'm networked in that way, but I don't do the YouTube stuff on there just because there's too many people. So. Yeah, Gator, that was before I made that decision. That was like 8 years ago. I probably have about maybe like 3% of my YouTube viewership on there. Some of them I've gotten rid of because, you know, it always like people doing like angry political stuff or whatever. I just kind of block those. I get tired of seeing it. Yes, that's true. My wife is friends with me on Facebook. Is Feared on tonight? Because I have a question. remind me to ask for a question when he gets on. I need to ask him a question about graphics settings. I need to turn stuff down a little bit because we get some frame choppies. Well, I am half Mexican, so I don't necessarily look totally American because I am half English and then half Hispanic. So my father was from Spain, so I've got some Latino in me. People always think I'm Greek, actually. Whenever I go into Greek restaurants or whatever, they start speaking to me in Greek. I'm like, sorry, I'm not Greek. Weddings, too. I get a lot of, when I do Greek weddings, they're like, oh, are you Greek? I'm like, no, I'm not. I look Greek, but I'm not. So... Yep, yeah, I remember like, what was it, like Patchwork, like Falcon 4. No, that was CD. That was CD-ROM. I'm trying to think of the one. JSF, Jet Future, Jet Fighter. It was like the it was a fighting, like a Tomcat game. I know, I ran the fence over. It's because I'm reading, trying to read chat and drive at the same time. No, no offense taken. I'm glad I'm not a typical person. The downside to this idea, now that I've gotten over here, I'm just realizing I can't do this because I don't. I can't unpack the cargoes. Shoot. I did, Gator. Yes. So this is going to be a dead end here. I can't. How can I do this? I can't really. There's nothing I can do because I've only got 2 trucks. Oh, well. All right, so we're going to have to take the Fleet Star to do this because... All right, so we're going to go into our map. That's the thing that stinks about having a very small fleet. You're kind of stuck. I don't really love dominoes. I'm okay with having no dominoes in our town. I don't, it kind of tastes like meat. To me, it's just like paper with cheese on it. I know that they're super like the freshest ingredients. Like they're real particular about fresh ingredients and stuff like that. But I don't know. You know, no offense to Domino's, it's just not my thing. I've tried Domino's and tried to like them. I even had a friend, like a good friend from my church, that owned a Domino's pizza, and he's always like, hey, we'll give you free pizza. I'm like, all right, man. And we try it and be like, ugh, my kids are like, no, yuck. And I'm like, yeah, it's not there. Like, it's not what I want it to be. Okay, so we're going to head over and look at the roadblock then and see if we can get that handled while we're in town. But this stinks. I'm going to have to go, oh, well. No Little Caesars. Once we get the better tires for both of these trucks, we will not be having as many issues because we'll be able to get to the warehouse with the GMC. But the GMC, just in the state that it's in right now, it cannot get to that warehouse. So, yeah, no. And there's nothing wrong with Domino's. And some people love Domino's. Same thing with Little Caesars. Now, I actually like Little Caesars better than I like Domino's, but I don't. Neither of them do much for me. Like, I would rather have local pizza. It's way too greasy. I don't do Pizza Hut. Like, I don't really do chain pizza. I almost always prefer local companies over the big chains. We have, in where I live, there's a couple pizza places. There's Master's Pizza, which is just fabulous. Antonio's Pizza is really good. We have a place called Romeo's, which is kind of a mini. They have several stores around where I live, like actually all over northeastern Ohio, that are just fabulous. They're really, really good pizza. But I don't know. There's like the chain pizzas I just don't like. You said the best pizza is this chain called Domino's. No, I just don't like Domino's. Papa John's can be okay. It's kind of hit or miss. When Papa John's first hit the scene, it was really good, but their flavors kind of changed a little bit, and it's just not what it was. Sam's Choice. I like the Red Baron. I like Red Baron pizzas. Yeah. I've never done a DiGiorno where you make your own DiGiorno or whatever, where you make your own pizza. Yeah, well, that's true too. The local companies are more expensive too. I mean, that's yeah. Cece's Pizza isn't bad. Yeah, I like Cece's Pizza. Having a good time, Mr. Enigma. Just relaxing, doing some yard work. We got the yard all. I know we've talked about the garbage situation at the house before. We rented a dumpster and it came today, and we just emptied the whole backyard. We got all the garbage into the dumpster, and it's going to be picked up tomorrow. And so we have Moni's yard all squared away, and Moni's getting some guinea pigs. So she's going to put a little hutch out back and raise guinea pigs, sell them. So, yeah, I like Cece's Pizza. East of Chicago pizza is usually okay. If you can find them, East of Chicago sometimes has a bar, like a breakfast bar type thing, where you can actually go in and it's like an all-you-can-eat pizza, and they have all kinds of different flavors, and those are usually pretty good. So, oh yeah, oh man, you're finding some serious scoring animals tonight. Exactly, Red Alpha. We were doing this to Moni's house, the train station renovation, but in real life. All right. Nope, you can't. We're going to be on for another hour and a half at least there, Atlanta MX3. We started late because I was having audio issues, so. Yeah, basically it was train station renovation. We still have some work to do, but the house is looking much better now. Now we just need to clean inside and get all that squared away. But it's looking nice now. All right, so let's see what this mission is. No, I can't. Oh, you meant the deer. Wait, what did you say? What did you say, TGF? Going out for drinks? I don't drink, so. But yes, no, not Northern Ireland, Northern England. You can't get in and out of Northern Ireland right now. They are completely locked down. They don't let anybody in or anybody out. So poor Atlanta. Yeah, it happens to everybody. Almost every time that I'm about to get ready to stream, we pick up like 10 new people. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, but we're leaving. Okay, spare parts and metal beams. I can get the metal beams, but I can't get the spare parts. So we got spare parts here. We're going to have to grab them from town. And I'm just going to leave the GMC here because it is useless. For kill. Fox Hill. Box Hill. Oh, that's cool. That's neat, man. Is it like a family member or something? That's pretty cool. People used to smuggle stuff across it. Now, are you, so is that why you're in the UK? Are you kind of heading that direction to get there? Manual loading zone. I'm blind. What did you do? I think my wife just got run over by a moose. Cargo management. There we go. Now, my son's girlfriend is Irish. She lives in Northern Ireland. So, actually, she's English, but she lives in Northern Ireland. And her family, I guess her dad's in the military, and they go all over the place, and they're in Northern Ireland right now and have been for a couple of years. She's actually going to school in Bath, England, which is cool. But, of course, they're off, so she's at home. Oh, that's cool, Dan. So you're just going to stay there for a while? right, so we're going to lift this up. Pull that in. This thing is like... I don't think they actually added a hardcore mode. I just play hardcore mode, so trying not to use map markers. I started it using map markers, but people said, hey, don't use those, so I'm not using them. No resetting, no moving on to maps ahead of time, so we're just kind of doing it like actually using the equipment that you're given and in the order that they give it to you. So we're trying to really kind of stick to those things. We're not going ahead in the game to unlock stuff, making it a little bit more challenging than what the default is. So yeah, the UK's got pretty high numbers as far as COVID goes. It's not the greatest on COVID, and they have, I don't know about you, Nan, but when I went through, hey, what's up, Big Hunts? And by the way, when I went through the border security here, and we talked about it last night, there was none. I basically, hey, what's up? Feared when I'm done streaming tonight, or maybe even while I'm streaming, I kind of need help a little bit with. You've already been added, Nan. I think Kyle already added you in. Anyway, so what graphics settings will still make the game look good but allow my computer to rest a little bit easier? Because right now I'm definitely getting frame rate issues, so I'd like to kind of cut that back a little bit so that I'm not framing out so bad. You can see that it's kind of stuttery, so yeah. Well, that's true. Truckers do use GPS, but can they use GPS on these kind of roads? That's the question. That would be cool, Red Alpha. I definitely agree with that. So this is going to be a 1060 card with a i7 processor, level 7 series laptop processor, Feared. Okay, all right. Well, as long as it looks okay for you guys, I'm not too worried about it. I want to make sure it looks nice. I am feeling a little bit of choppiness. It's not horrible, though. Oh my goodness, Big Hunts, that's awful. I'm trying the Feared Fox fuel method, which is to not ever like use all-wheel drive unless you absolutely have to. So VSync would help. Okay, I'll try that. No, we don't own any land in London. We don't own any land over here at all. We're just renting. We're renting from England. This laptop has a 1060, Feared. CPU could be the bottleneck. It is running very high, so. But it is a 4-core processor, I believe. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know. I don't mind not using it. I've actually been having fun not using the map markers because I've kind of, honestly, the first 2 maps I have memorized at this point. I've been through them so many times. But, see, what about Trucker? Because I'm an over-the-road truck driver. What about it? All right, so we're going to put this here. Yeah. Oh, okay. So turn on any EAVC and OBS. No, I'm not using Streamlabs. No. Just using regular. Hey, what's up, Bin Pin? Or should I say Mr. Skyrim? What is your name in Skyrim, Bin Pin? Yeah, so I guess the numbers are going up in the U.S., honey. Of course, because they reopened the U.S., so that's what we knew would happen. What, hon? Oh, that's cool, Dan. You're flirting yourself. It isn't that bad aside from COVID cases. I know, shocking. Yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, that's, you know, we are going to see the numbers go up. Oh, well. Well, we did have that too. Yeah, it's not the wisest thing. Okay, so we need to get another, we need a service spare parts for that one. I think, I'm trying to think of how to do this the best way. Yeah, I don't, Florida's not my thing either. Now, I will say this. If I could afford to have a condo that had a pool that was right on the beach, I probably would go for that in Florida. That would be the only way I would live in Florida, though. I would want to live in a beach condo that looks over the beach. I can walk out in the morning and have my coffee overlooking the ocean. I could see doing that and swimming in the pool down by the beach. Yeah, I would do that. But that's the only Florida that I would do. Otherwise, forget it. And no one can afford that anyway because it's millions of dollars. So, do you see what I'm talking about, Feared? Like, there's some frame issues. So that's what I was talking about. I don't know, Nan. I don't think so. I mean, you can, but there's fees associated with it. Oh, wow. That's crazy. This game is on console, Wolf. Yeah, there's just fees, yeah. As long as it's Visa, you should be fine, but you will have a fee on it. Okay, so we are going to have to do some truck shuffling. I'm going to set up our other truck as a puller, as a trailer puller. And I might even pull some fuel. I don't know if I need to pull fuel down here or not. I might. But, yeah, until the hurricanes take you out. Well, that's true, too. And if you're on the beach, that's even more, like more of a risk. So, yeah, Wolf, this game has been on console. It's on all of the consoles. So, at least all the newer consoles. And it also might be coming to Nintendo Switch. That's the rumor. So, yeah, it's not horrible, Feared. It just, if there's a couple things I could tweak, I was wondering if there's something I can do in the game itself to kind of help the frame rates without making it look too much badder. Oh, that sucks, Nan. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, it depends. Now, I have a Visa card, so maybe it's because it's Visa or whatever that they let you do it, but maybe because you're doing some bank, like some other kind of bank or whatever, then they're not doing it. I don't really know a lot about finances, so. All right, so hang on 1 second, folks, on YouTube. We'll be right back. Yes, I would like to get into investing eventually. We'll do so, but at this time in my life, I just can't. But we need to do it soon. I know that as you get older, you need to invest. You know, obviously, the best time to do it's when we're young. Hey, I'm super glad. Mark finally sold the car, so... no, I do not take loans out. I don't do loans. No. Nope. I am working on being debt-free at this point, and I will not take any additional loans out. I don't do loans. I got enough stuff I got to pay off. That's one of the reasons why I don't have money is because I poorly spent money when I was younger and got myself into all kinds of debt. So haven't used a credit card in 5 years or any kind of loans or anything like that, and I will not be taking any of that out. I do everything by cash and what I earn. So so not good. I appreciate the offer, but no thank you. Yeah, the American loans are terrible. They really are. But yeah, thankfully I never got into the college loan thing because of my financial situation growing up. I was able to get some grants and stuff like that helped pay for my college. So. But I've learned the hard way. You never loan money from friends. So, but I appreciate the offer. I've lost some good friends over money, so it's not worth it. So what we're doing right now is I'm not trying to waste time, but I'm heading over to my house office garage to get a new. I'm going to put this into a semi-trailer mode so we can unlock that trailer. And I think I'm going to pull back a fuel trailer. Maybe. I have to think about it. This truck could be our refueler. Wait a minute. Where am I going? That's the one. Okay. Oh, and I can grab that. Did I pass it already? I want to grab that tipper. I did. Hold on. We're going to grab it. We're going to sell that tipper so we can get a little bit extra income here. College loans with the devil, yeah. Yep. I drove right past that tipper that we wanted to sell. Right, exactly. Unless you're willing. Now, I will say this. My friend did loan me money to buy a car a couple years ago when I first got divorced and was getting out of debt and trying to get out of the car leases that I had. And I did pay him back pretty much every cent of that loan. It took me a couple of years to pay it off, but I did pay it back. But even then, I don't ever want to have to do that again. So. So we're gonna head. I do. This is one of my favorite cabins in the game. Oh, that's cool, Gator. Yep, it's like the military. You want to find people that'll help you get ahead. Wow, this trailer's really putting a damper on my truck usage. Oh, Nan. Oh. That sucks, dude. Oh. Yep. Yeah, that sucks, dude. Oh, redneck, that stinks too. Yeah, like you just... Does it seem to be running better, Feared? I feel like it's running a little bit better, and it still looks just as good. It's hard to tell a difference, honestly. My eyeballs, my old eyes can't really see much of a difference graphically. Now, we're going to spend the night at the garage, because obviously we're running out of daylight here, and it's really foggy for whatever reason tonight. Yeah, it's been running pretty smooth, so that's good. Oh, that's cool, man. Well, look good. At least there's a happy ending. What? Oh, that's nuts. That's shocking, man. That sucks. There you go. I mean, maybe Patchwork, like going to work for another farmer. Is that what you're saying, Patchwork, or working your own farm? There you go. How did it turn out for you? I kind of have done it on a different game, but then I kind of broke the rules on the third map because I was just having fun. So, oh, dude, don't worry about it, TGF. You said sorry for making this awkward. Not awkward. It's life. All right, so we have definitely hope there's. I don't think there's any upgrades for this truck yet, but. Huh. I mean, that would be interesting. Your wife might not be super happy with that idea, though. But. Is renting an apartment or townhome better than financing a home? I don't think that's ever the case, Gator. Yeah. I get it, Braxis. I don't know if I could live without the internet, though. Yeah, maybe. I forgot we still have our pickup truck, too. Which is why we have no money. So we're going to customize this truck. I'm going to sell these parts.
Renting is never better.
Yeah, renting is... I don't think renting is ever better than buying. I think that's a bad idea, so... The Fleet Star's a really good truck, man. I haven't gotten that far yet, so because I only play it like once a week, I haven't gotten there yet. Okay, so we have our truck set up the way I want it. Saddle low. Any tires or anything yet? I mean, once we get to level 4, I think these unlock. Let's see. No, level 6. Urgh. So this truck is really going to be useless to us for quite some time. I wish I could just sell it, but I promised I wouldn't. So maybe down the road I'll sell it, but... Binpin wants to know how your day's going, babe. She said, good. Power off grid, but with 500 meg service. Yeah, exactly. Two days. Yeah, the river is going to be the hard. That's the part that I'm scared about. We'll sell that back when we're done with it. But. I mean, Gator, that's what most people do. Like they rent until they end up having a family and knowing where they're going to live. And I get that. Right. Well, renting is better if you don't have money because you need somewhere to live. Right. So when your life is transient, renting is obviously better. But when your life stops... Ooh, a piebald boar? Piebald what? Moose? A piebald moose. Cool. But when your life becomes less transient, you end up wanting to stay in one place, then you're much better off buying. Come on, truck, pull. Oh, it's going to bottom out. And we just dug in. Shoot. Oh, I forgot. We need to fast forward time, so we'll turn the motor off, and we're going to let the time go by. That's the one thing I will not do is play video. It's hard to do video at night. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this up. Crap. Nope. I'm getting better with the joystick and the winch, but still not perfect. Yep. Now renting will help you build credit, that is for sure. But like we said, if you're going to be staying in one place, oh, that's awesome. Nice. If you're staying in one place, you don't like day driving anymore in game? Why not? Just for video's sake. I usually go both day and night, but for the video's sake, I always play during the day. So. Yep. But when you're ready to settle, you're always better buying than renting. So. She's right here next to me, playing Hunter on the other computer. Yeah, and that's true too. You usually end up paying less on something of that size. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Patchwork. You end up paying less too, which is weird, but. She killed a piebald moose. No, she's not usually loud. I mean, she's normally having fun. Fun loud. So when you say desync, that's the issue that we were having, right, Feared, where like you were disappearing and then I was disappearing and then... Yes, I do have multiple saves, so I am on version 5. The thing that sucks, Feared, is the way that I originally set up my games to be like so I can do different games, different game profiles. It doesn't work for the way that they set up the multi-profiles. So I'm kind of stuck sticking to the old way of copying and pasting the folder. I can't do the new system because I've already started all these games. And I have to still copy and paste them for it to work. It doesn't make new folders. It makes one folder that has a new folder hierarchy. So you can't copy your old save games over it. You can only copy over the original base game, so it stinks. It doesn't. Yeah, if you can figure out how to do it, Feared, this truck is just not. And this is such a good truck once it gets upgraded, but it's so bad when it's not. So I don't use the mouse anymore. I gotta. Yeah, the downside with buying is you have to have so much down, and you have to, it's there's a lot more work involved, and you have to qualify for the loan and all that stuff. So. Yeah, that was me. That was definitely me, Patchwork. Yep, do it, Gator. The best thing you can do is like save and be careful. So. Yeah, and the Fleet Star, I'm just trying to set this up so that we can unlock stuff, but I thought I'd pull I'll pull a fuel trailer over there. Oh, no, you won't. You're just going to get stuck every 3 feet. Once I get onto the pavement here, we'll be fine, but this is turning into quite a... Yeah, it's like quicksand. Exactly. Nope. I can connect to nothing further ahead. This is the only thing I can connect to. Really? What about that post up there? Seriously? All right, Gator. All right, Feared. We'll see ya. I know, Atlanta Max. I know exactly what you're saying. All right, there we go. We're clear. I do not, man. Oh, okay. Real life or no line. All right, so we're finally pulling out. Now we're going to take this into town, and I'm going to hook this up to that trailer. Then we'd be able to get that. We'll hopefully be able to get those service spare parts off that trailer because I need them for both roads, and that way I don't have to go over to the warehouse. But it's not a big deal on the Fleet Star. But oh, come on, really? Urgh. Praxis, like $5, $10, anything. No. I fat fingered it. Selected which point I want. That. Yep. There we go. No, I don't. All right, so here we go. So I wonder if I would have taken the trailer, the fifth wheel trailer, like the actual semi-trailer for this, I wonder if I would have had better luck than pulling this trailer behind, because sometimes these trailers are hard to pull. So, all right, have a good night, man. We'll see ya. Hello, Wazazzle. K-Man, Mikan. What's up, Mikan? Doing well, thank you. All right, so we have brought our fuel over. Not that we really need it. I don't even know why I did all this. Is a lot of effort for. Well, because I was coming back with the truck, but I didn't realize that this was going to be so hard adding that thing up. So, oh well, glad to hear that, Wazazzle. I love doing it. So I'm going to park this trailer here. We will eventually have to sell this, but we can sell it over on the other side of town here. It's not far to the other trailer dealership. So we can pop that right there. If I want to drop this off, detach the trailer. And, well, welcome to the stream. Make sure to give me a follow. That way you can know when I am on and streaming. It'll keep you informed of all the things that I'm doing and when I'm doing them. Huh, that's interesting, Patrick. Already following. Well, there we go. Getting a good computer. Right, exactly. Yeah, it's nice to have the the fuel tanker around. Get into there. There we go. And we can unpack the cargo now. Look at this. Stop the engine. And we're going to change over to this truck. So Fanatec makes computers, correct? Or am I'm kind of out of it on the current hot computer brands. I'm imagining Fanatec is, you know. Oh, I think you're totally right at Red Alpha. That's why I try to stay out of it. But yep, I usually put one back there too. When I get another truck, usually what I do is once I get the Kodiak, I use that as a mobile fuel truck, and I put it near the warehouse, and then when I'm done doing the warehouse stuff, I move it up to the factory where Pipe Dream takes place, like where all the pipes things takes place, and then I'll move it down to the main pipe drilling platform. So this game is called SNOWRUNNER, and it is a great game. It is the spiritual successor to MudRunner. Actually, it's the direct successor, and it is a wonderful, fun game. So let's see, we're gonna Restore the crane, and we're going to pack this cargo, and I'm going to run this over to our repair to get that unblocked, and then I'll be back to get the other two. Oh, I see, Praxis. Cool. Now, unfortunately, this game doesn't support that stuff well. You're better off with like an Xbox controller on this game, but that's cool, Gator. So I wouldn't. The Fantech probably wouldn't help you too much on this. It might help a bit, but yeah. SNOWRUNNER on PC. We're gonna refuel. All right. Oh, all right, Wazazzle. Well, we'll be here. Yeah, I agree too. I think the credit system is a very bad system. It's all about making money for them, right? So it's never in your best interest, and it's always about, you know, lending you money, and a lot of it's predatory, and a lot of it is like, hey, let's try to give them something they can't pay back. In the long run, you end up paying, what, like almost a third more than you would if you would have just bought it outright. So unless you absolutely have things like houses and cars, you're kind of stuck, because people don't just have $30,000, $40,000 to go out and buy a car. So, oh, did they fix the bug? Oh, they fixed the falling through bug, honey. Thank God. That made me crazy. I haven't messed with that yet, but I'm glad to hear that. I guess I haven't had that happen, so you're right. They have fixed it. Whoa! Yeah, and not necessarily the best one. We'll go diff lock here. I can't wait to get the SNOWRUNNER gearbox for these. Yeah, this game is not super supportive of that, but once again, it really is also about the third-person view, isn't it? So this game is more about playing third-person than it. The cab views are great, and you can play the whole game in. I've had some people come on my videos and say, yeah, well, I do hard mode in cab, and I'm like, that's cool, except for it would make a really boring YouTube series, you know, because you're just watching me play in cab. I mean, I guess I've done it with American Truck and Euro Truck, but it's still, I don't know. I think that you are better off, you know, playing outside and seeing around, because that's, you know, the detail is so nice on the trucks and stuff. It looks really good, and it's fun to watch the trucks from the outside as they climb through the mud. So you're missing half the game if you're playing all in the cab. But especially for a YouTube series, it's not great. So anyway, but you can play the whole game first person, which means that you could use a steering wheel, but you won't be able to use a shifter or anything because it doesn't really support that. So you disable your horn. There you go. There's a horn. Cool. Whoa, let's roll backwards. Wow. Oh, did you do not a drill with the crane? Sometimes you need it. Well, yeah, that's the drifting camera's a little annoying. That's typical of this game. Let's see. Time to drain the swamps. I'm not going to do that one yet. That's a scout mission or an off-road truck mission, and we don't have that yet. So we'll work on that. So now we need to get service spare parts to the other roadblock, which should be pretty easy right now. We're going to run into town. Oh. We're low. This truck is low to the ground right now. We don't have the lift kit on it. This truck ride's really low. Keeps it from flipping, but when that crane is on it, there's a lot of weight, and it causes it to bottom out. So that's what I just did there. Let's see. Lastly, you wish you could separate the steering from the throttle. What? See, now mine is separated. I have my throttle controls on my left and right bumpers, and my steering is on the Xbox joystick. You said you heard that before somewhere. Yeah, so I have separate throttle control. It's not, mine's not on my steering. That's weird. Streaming music capability. Oh, like being like kind of how Farm Sim has the yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They have their own music that's in it that's pretty good, but I've turned it off because I got tired of hearing the same 5 songs. Which is where the streaming music would come in, because then you can put your own music in it. The downside with music in games, like for the train station simulator, I got nailed for copyright violations on my YouTube videos. So what joystick are you using, Atlanta Max? Because like I'm just using a standard Xbox controller, and it was, by default, it's divided out. I can't imagine trying to use throttle on the... If you're using an Xbox, something is wrong. You've got something set wrong, because the default is the same as MudRunner. It's just gas is right trigger, brake is left trigger, and then steering is the joystick. Weird. Something's just not... I don't know why it did that. That doesn't make sense. I wonder why yours did that. All right, Ben Pin, have a good night. We'll see ya. Yeah, I've looked into buying music. I never put music in my videos. Mostly my videos just go straight onto YouTube, so I don't do a lot of like music stuff on there. But let's go ahead and activate the anchors. We're gonna pop this crane out. Nope. That's awesome. And kind of scary at the same time, Patchwork. Be careful.